All right, take this one in and really let it land, okay? You don't always have to be her hero. And I know we've been influenced by movies and romantic films where the man, Prince Charming, comes in and saves the princess and saves the day. I can honestly say, as a father of a really strong, powerful, growingly independent daughter, I don't want her to have someone always come and save her day. And I even have to hold myself back from wanting to save the day for her, even at 3 years old, because I know that she's not always going to have me or someone else available to save her. And I got verification from this from my wife. We were just talking about this right before I started recording. I said, hey, what's a message that men need to hear? And she said that you don't always have to be the hero. Because in fact, if I'm always trying to be the hero, if I'm always showing up on my white stallion to save the day for my wife or anybody, then I'm robbing her of the opportunity of finding her own way, finding her own solutions. And that it doesn't prepare her for when I'm not around. Because the reality is that sometimes I'm not available. I'm about to head off the grid for 8 days, taking another group of fasters out to cross the threshold. And I'm not going to be there to save the day for her. Now, in the beginning, when I first started taking these trips, that was really hard for her. But my wife has gotten so much more resilient, so much more capable and confident because I allowed her to show up for herself in those moments. Now, this doesn't mean that I still can't be supportive. I don't just walk out the door and say, hey, honey, good luck. But a different way of being supportive, of being encouraging, letting her know, hey, you're doing a great job. Babe, I know you got this. I know you can figure it out. Instead of always having to come up with a solution for her. In fact, one of the superpowers that we have as men that's available to us is just simply listening. And I know, believe me, I'm the one who screws this up the most. We often forget to just listen. Just listen. Just aim to understand. Just aim to hear what's going on and be a sounding board. Outside of breakdowns, my wife usually tells me, hey, just remember that when I'm presenting something to you, oftentimes I'm just saying it to you so that I can hear myself say it out loud. It's ironic, but she means it. It's true. And then I think to myself, why didn't you just talk to yourself in the mirror? Because it's not the same, right? So sometimes we don't actually need to provide the solution. We don't have to show up and save the day. And in fact, that part of me that desires to be the hero is a good opportunity for me to look at my own need for significance, to show up and save the day so that I can get the pat on the back, the acknowledgement, the my hero moment for my wife, right? So this is an important reminder, an important message that we all get to look at. Where am I looking to show up and be the hero, to save somebody from their own peril? Right? It's a very simple dynamic we have as humans where I can show up and want to save the day. On one hand, it's really noble to be of service, to help somebody out. But what are the long-term ramifications? What if I'm robbing that person of an opportunity to learn how to figure it out for themselves? What if I'm robbing my daughter of an opportunity to figure out for herself that she's got her shoes on the wrong foot? Real story. Happens almost every day, right? All my fathers out there can relate. If I can support her, I can encourage her, I can reflect back to her. But if I just say, hey, move out of the way, I got this, then what is she learning? Is she growing? Is that really the role that I want to play in her life? Because then what happens if someday I'm not here? What happens if I go and I get hit by a car? Because that's real. That happens all the time. We hear stories about that. Now, of course, I don't want that to happen. I hope it doesn't. Pray that it doesn't. But if it did, I would want to know that I did everything while I was here to empower, to uplift, to encourage my wife, my daughter, everyone around me to figure things out for themselves, to come up with their own solutions. Not alone, not all alone like some lone wolves, but with the encouragement and support of somebody instead of the move out of the way, let me handle this. So just that simple reminder here today, okay? You don't always have to be the hero. We got to get this archetype idea of a Prince Charming version of a man that I need to be in my relationships. Just cast that aside. Sometimes, some moments we get to show up and be heroic, but for the most part, I'd rather be an empowering function of my community instead of the hero that everyone's depending on. That's real talk. In fact, I need to tell myself that more often. So I'm going to, and I hope that this message lands with you wherever it needs to. And maybe you know somebody who's out there being the hero. Share this message with them. Shoot them the video, send them the podcast episode, because you never know when that message is going to change someone's perspective completely. So thank you for supporting. As always, make sure you come back for the next Monday morning meditation, and I'll see you on the next one.